have computed the angles based on the is given. Okay, these problems you have solved. How to calculate the angle if the forebearing is given? You are going to calculate what is the back bearing using the equation forebearing equal to back bearing is equal to forebearing plus or minus 180. Okay. So if angles are given, then how to determine the bearing? Any wild guesses? If angles are given, how to determine? So simple equation here. What how you are determining the angle A is equal to forebearing of AB minus back bearing of EA, right? In the same way, if you want to determine what is the forebearing of the next line, if the angle is given to you, okay, there is a simple equation that you need to use. Okay? And the equation is forebearing of next line is equal to forebearing of previous line plus included angle. Okay, this is the equation which you need to use to determine what is the forebearing of the next line if the forebearing of the previous line and the included angle is given. But there is a condition here you need to apply. Okay, if the sum of if the resultant sum is greater than 180, okay, then you need to subtract 180. If resultant sum is less than 180, then you need to add 180. If resultant sum is greater than 540, then you need to subtract 540 in order to get what is the correct forebearing of the next line. Okay, this is a thumb rule which you need to remember. The equation used to determine the forebearing of next line is equal to forebearing of previous line plus included angle. When you are doing this exercise, if the resultant sum is getting as greater than 180, then you need to subtract 180. If it is less than 180, you need to add 180, and if it is greater than 540, then you need to subtract 540. Okay, so this equation you need to do. So let us try to solve a small problem, then you will be able to understand it in a better manner. Okay. Here you can note on this question, the following angles were observed in the clockwise direction in an open traverse. Angle ABC is 124 degrees 15 minutes. Angle BCD is 156 degrees 30 minutes. Angle CDE is 102 degrees. Angle DEF is 95 degrees 15 minutes. Angle EFG is 215 degrees 45 minutes. And the other information given is the magnetic bearing of the line AB was 241 degrees 30 minutes. What would be the bearing of the line FG? Okay. So first let us try to draw the diagram. He has given you the forebearing of line AB. Forebearing of line AB is 241 degrees. In which quadrant do you get it? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 241 degrees, which quadrant?
Third quadrant.
So the line AB comes in third quadrant. Okay. He has given you just only the forebearing of one line AB. Then he has given you the angles ABC. That is, this is BC. Let us keep it as like this BC. Then he has given you CD. Then he has given you D. Then he has given you EF. Then he has given you is then there is a line called as FG. So these all angles he has given to you. This angle is given now to you. Similarly, this angle is given to you. Similarly, this angle is given to you. And this is also given to you. and this angle is also given to you. So what is asking you to determine? Determine what is the forebearing of line FG. So he's asking you to determine, okay, what is the forebearing of line FG. This is what he is asking you to determine in the question. So let us take it as A. This is B. This is a C. This is a B. This is E. This is F. The last one is G. Okay. So this is a pictorial view of the given problem. He has given you the forebearing of line AB. He has given you this value. Okay. So this value is how much? 241.30. Okay. Then he has
సార్
given, yeah.
సార్ ఏబిసిడి ట్రావర్స్ అనేది మనం యాంటీ క్లాక్ వైజ్ తీసుకున్నారు కదా సార్ మీరు
ABCD traverse అన్నది
యాంటీ క్లాక్ వైజ్ తీసుకున్నారు కదా సార్ బేరింగ్స్
ఉమ్,
మేబీ క్లాక్ వైజ్ రావచ్చు కదా సార్
ఏది
క్లాక్ వైజ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు యాంటీ క్లాక్ వైజ్ ఏబిసిడి అనేది యాంటీ క్లాక్ వైజ్ వెళ్తున్నాం కదా సార్ ట్రావర్సింగ్
ఉమ్,
క్లాక్ వైజ్ లో కూడా రావచ్చు కదా సార్
రావచ్చు. This
అంటే
is only a rough figure.
ఎస్ సార్ మీరు డైరెక్ట్ గా వేశారు కదా
This is a rough figure. Okay. And based on the angles also you can see. The following angles were observed in the clockwise direction in an open traverse. Okay, here the bearings are not in the clockwise direction. Traversing is not in the clockwise direction. Angles are in the clockwise direction. Okay, so don't get confused about that. Okay, just try to draw a rough diagram so that you'll be able to understand what he's asking you. He's asking you to determine a forebearing of some line after 3 to 4 lines, provided he has given you the bearing of first line. Okay. So here he has given you the forebearing of AB as 241 degrees 30 minutes. Then he has given you what is angle B, what is angle C, what is angle D, angle E, and angle F he has given. And is asking you to determine what is the forebearing of line FG. Okay. So for that we need to use this equation. So I'll give you 1 minute time. You tell me why this equation. Forebearing of next line is equal to forebearing of previous line plus included angle. Why we need to do this why we need to use this equation from the figure rough diagram.
ఫర్ బ్యాక్ బేరింగ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రీవియస్ లైన్ సార్
Yeah, if you draw a quadrant here, the logic behind this equation is if you draw a quadrant here, please don't bother about the shapes of the diagram because I'm using it in paint Microsoft presentation. The shapes are somewhat distorted. Okay, what is asking me is asking me, I'll just delete this line. Okay, I will keep that line, not a problem. He's asking me to determine what is the forebearing of BC. So from where forebearing of BC is measured? From this line, right? He's asking me to determine this value. Okay. What is the value he has already given me? He has already given me this value. Angle BCD, angle ABC is given. Okay. So what is the bearing if I want to measure? What is the bearing? What is the portion I required to measure now? Only this one, right? కదా ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ నాకు 124 degrees 15 minutes వాడు ఇచ్చేసాడు ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ యాంగిల్ ఇచ్చేసాడు అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు నాకు యాంగిల్ ఇచ్చాడు I want only this portion. If I add this small portion to this given angle, I'll be getting what is the forebearing of BC kada? This I will be getting this one. Okay. So that is why we are using this equation. Forebearing of next line is equal to forebearing of previous line plus included angle. But what is this? Is this forebearing of previous line? This small portion? It is a back bearing, right?
బ్యాక్ బేరింగ్ సార్
Okay, it is a back bearing. But in order to simplify the calculations, what he has given the equation in the form of forebearing of previous line plus included angle. And if the resultant sum is greater than 180, then you need to subtract 180. Okay. So if suppose this is the back bearing portion I want, but as per my earlier equation, what it is, forebearing is equal to back bearing plus or minus 180, or the difference between forebearing and back bearing is 180, right? The thumb rule which we saw in the last class. Okay. The same concept is applied here. Instead of using this equation, forebearing of previous line plus included angle, you can also use back bearing of previous line plus included angle. Then you need not do these calculations, subtraction, additions, etc. kind of thing. Okay. But if you are using this equation, forebearing of previous line plus included angle, then the resultant sum should be either subtracted or added from 180 or 540. Okay. That is the concept behind this. Okay. So now let us try to solve this simple problem now. Okay. So forebearing of BC. What is the previous line for BC? What is the previous line for BC?
AB, sir.
AB and angle B. Forebearing of line AB is 241.30 plus angle B is 124.15. So what can be the answer? Please solve it and tell me the answers. P6545 is the answer of mine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it greater than 180 or less than 180? 365 is greater than 180 or less than 180? So it is greater than 180. So subtract 180. So the resultant value will be 185.45. Okay. Similarly, I'll use FB as forebearing. Forebearing of CD is equal to forebearing of BC plus angle C. Forebearing of BC is now you have calculated 185.45 plus angle C is given as 156.30. What is the answer?
$342 15 minutes, sir.
42 degrees 15 minutes. Is greater than 180, so subtract 180. What is the answer?
162 degrees 15 minutes, sir.
Okay. Then forebearing of DE is equal to forebearing of CD plus angle D. Forebearing of CD is you have calculated now 162.15 plus angle D is given as 102. What is the answer?
264 degrees 15 minutes, sir.
It is greater than 180, so subtract 180.
20 degrees.
84 degrees 15 minutes,
84
right?
degrees 15 minutes, sir.
Then forebearing of EF is equal to forebearing of EE plus angle E. This is equal to forebearing of DE is 84
84
degrees
degrees.
15 minutes plus angle E is given as 95 degrees 15 minutes. So what is the answer?
179 degrees 13 minutes, sir.
Is it less than 180 or more than 180?
Less than, sir.
So what you need to do? You need to add 180, so it is 359.30. Then forebearing of FG is equal to forebearing of EF plus angle F 359 degrees 30 minutes plus angle F is 215 degrees 45 minutes. What is the answer?
575 degrees 15 minutes, sir.
575 degrees 15 minutes. So what I need to do now?
Subtract, sir.
Subtract what? 180 or 540?
540, sir.
540. Then note down 35 into 15. Okay. So this is how you need to calculate. Now, based on these four bearing values, you try to draw the diagram. Whether you are going to get a anti-clockwise traverse or a clockwise traverse. Forebearing of AB is in the third quadrant, right? 241 degrees. 241 degrees, 30 minutes is in the third quadrant. Forebearing of BC is 185 degrees, 45 minutes. Which quadrant?
Second quadrant.
185 and second quadrant or third
Third
quadrant?
quadrant, sir. Third quadrant, sir.
Third quadrant. Forebearing of CD is 162. Which quadrant?
Second quadrant.
Second.
So in that fashion, you can draw the final diagram. Okay, how the traverse is going to take place. Okay, because I have the solution, I have drawn the diagram here, but you can draw a rough diagram first, and based on the values which you got using your calculations, you can draw the final diagram also. Okay, keep only one thing in mind: forebearing of next line is equal to forebearing of previous line plus included angle. If you are using this equation, then use these conditions: greater than 180, less than 180, greater than 540. If you are using back bearing of previous line plus included angle, then this condition need not be applied. Okay, if you want the forebearing of the next line is equal to back bearing of previous line plus included angle, then this condition is not required. Okay, so let us quickly solve one more problem. The bearing of AB is given as 124 degrees 30 minutes. Angle B is given as 123 degrees 45 minutes. Angle C is given as 64 degrees 30 minutes. Angle D is given as 65 degrees. And angle A is given as 106 degrees 45 minutes. Okay. Determine the bearings of BC, CD, and DA. I'll just explain you once. You can see here the bearing of BC is equal to bearing of AB plus angle B, 124 degrees 30 minutes plus 123 degrees 45 minutes. It is 248 degrees 15 minutes, which is greater than 180. So I'm subtracting 180. So the bearing is 68 degrees 15 minutes. The bearing of CD is, the previous line for CD is BC, bearing of BC plus angle C. Angle C is given as 64 degrees 30 minutes. So 68 degrees 15 minutes plus 64 degrees 30 minutes will give you 132 degrees 45 minutes, which is less than 180. So I'm adding 180 to here. Okay. So I'm getting 312 degrees 45 minutes. Next, bearing of DA is equal to bearing of CD plus angle D. 312 degrees 45 minutes plus 65. 377, which is greater than 180. So I'm subtracting 180. I'm getting the answer as 197.45. Then bearing of line AB. So you need to solve the problem only up to here, bearing of DA. But in order to cross check whether the problem solved by you is correct or wrong, again I'm going to calculate what is the bearing of AB using these equations. So bearing of AB is equal to bearing of DA. It is the previous line DA plus angle A. 197.45 degrees plus 106.45, 304 degrees 30 minutes, which is greater than 180. If I subtract, I'm getting 124 degrees 30 minutes, which is what given in the question also. Okay, this is how you can cross check your calculations and get a clarity whether you have done the problem, you have solved the problem correctly or not. Okay, so this is a very simple topic. In the last class, we have seen how to calculate angles when bearings are given. In this, we have calculated the bearings if angles are given. Okay, is it clear? So up to this topic, you'll be having the exams. You are not having local attraction in the exam. So the basics of chain surveying, ranging and direct range, what is ranging, what is indirect ranging, what is indirect ranging, Okay. Then what are the instruments used in chain surveying? Then what are the obstacles? Okay. How to solve different types of problems in obstacles. Then what is differentiation between compass surveying and chain surveying? What are the designations of bearings? Whole circle, what is whole circle bearing? What is quadrantal bearing or reduced bearing? Okay, if whole circle bearing is given, how to get the quadrantal bearing and vice versa, and how to determine the angles if bearings are given, and how to determine bearings if angles are given, and GPS. Okay, what are the various types of GPS constellations available in the world? These are going to be your syllabus for your first internal. Okay, very few
సార్
topics.
రిమోట్ సెన్సింగ్ లేదా సార్?
Huh?
రిమోట్ సెన్సింగ్ అది లేదా సార్?
Remote sensing లేదా only GPS for first mate.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, these are the topics from which we will get in the questions. So first part will be 3 questions carrying 2 marks each, and magnetic declination we also will be getting because I covered it. First part will be consisting of 3 questions carrying 2 marks each. You need to answer all 3. Second part consists of 3 questions, out of which you need to answer only 2 for 14 marks. Okay. Third part will consist of an objective questions, 10 questions, 10 marks. Sorry, 5 marks. Okay. I'll share the objective link through Google Form at the time of examination once you submit this paper. And hope you know how to write the exam. Prepare instructions ఇచ్చారు ఎవరైనా?
నో సార్.
So the question paper will be sent 5 minutes before in the WhatsApp group as well as in the Google Classroom. Okay. You need to write it on your A4 sheet, A4 white sheet. You need to mention your rule number, your complete name, and the name of the subject and name of the exam, first internal. Okay, BE third semester, first internal examinations, surveying and geomatics subject, then your rule number, then your name. On your rule number and name should be written on all pages of your answers. If you are using 4 papers or 5 papers for answering your exam, on all papers your rule number and name should be written. Then you need to write your answers using a pen, okay, and the answer script. Then you need to scan it and share the PDF in the classroom or in the link provided by the concerned faculty. Okay, so I will give you my email ID. Okay, after you write the exam, you scan that using your mobile phone, okay, using cam scanner or any Adobe scanner, whatever it may be. Then you send that mobile, then scanned PDF to my email ID, official email ID. So the exam will be for 1 hour 10 minutes. First 1 hour is for writing this theory part, and last 10 minutes is for the objective test. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
ఎస్ సార్.
Okay, so it's an open book system, but don't try to copy because there is no one to do invigilation and no one is there to check what you are writing in your home. Only based on some ethics you need to attempt this exam. Okay, so I'll share on 5th our exam is there, 5th 2 p.m. I guess. So I'll share the question paper to you in the WhatsApp group at 1:55 p.m. Please inform all laterals whoever are not there in the respective classroom groups, WhatsApp groups. Please join in that groups. Okay, because question paper will be shared there only. Okay, na? I'll show you one sheet how the students, regular students, have sent. In the same fashion, you need to send a paper. You need to write it on a white paper. Okay, like this, be it third some internal examination, so and so month. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write it on a white paper, be it third some internal examination 1, December 2020, subject surveying and geomatics, your rule number, your name, and your section. Whether you belong to section A, civil 2A is section A, civil 2B is section B. Okay. Then write down part A, what is the question that is given in the question paper, then write your answer. Then second question, your answer. And third question and your answer. And part B, question number and answer. Then part B, another question and answer. Okay. Like this. For objective, I'll give you the Google form. You need not write in this paper. Okay. So you need to write 2 long answer questions and 2 short answer questions. Okay. And you need to scan this and send it in the form of a PDF to me. Okay, like this. I'll share you my mail ID on the date of the exam, shivchandra_civil@mvsrec.edu.in. Just attach to that mail and send it to my mail. And this whole process should be completed by 3:15. Your exam starts at 2 and you need to submit both the objective and this SAQ questions by 3:15. Okay? 5 నిమిషాల్లో స్కాన్ చేసి పంపించేయాలమ్మా. If you send the question scanned paper after 1 hour or after half an hour like that, then it will not be valued. Valuation చేయం, zero వేసేస్తాం. ఓకేనా? All the best for your exams. Okay. Bye for the day.